know you like to do things.
Welcome to the Not Moved Podcast Hockey Show in the Wickets. I'm the Dollface Gremlin with my boy, as always, A Train, and of course, our partner in crime, Southgate. A Train, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good, and you, Graham? Southgate?
Doing great, thank you. Southgate,
I'm
how you
doing
doing?
good.
Well, Southie, I'm glad you're here because we want to hear your insight on some of what we've been seeing for goal scorers here in a little bit. But we're gonna start off hot. We did it last week. We're gonna do it again. We're starting off hot, getting right to the players. Hey, Train, I know you've been itching to talk about this guy, and I have too. Florida Panthers own Matthew Tkachuk.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this I really want after the sick goal we saw earlier this week. I'm like, we gotta have this guy. I gotta have him on the show. I gotta talk about him a little bit, right? The star winger for the Florida Panthers. He's a premier forward, right? He has elite offensive skill with a physical style of play that makes him a nightmare for his opponents. As we all know, he led the Panthers to back-to-back Stanley Cup championships with the cup clinching goal against the Oilers in Game 6. And he was a big key factor in helping Team USA win that gold medal. As of March, he's recorded 13 goals and 18 assists after that early groin injury. So that's really what I got on him.
Yeah, Matthew Kachuk is a bruiser, is he not? But he also has some sweet hands. We've seen him use his body to just dip down low. All of a sudden, he's backed the defender out with his hips, and he pulls off just a beautiful shot puck, whether it's a nice slick through the five hole there, right up top shelf. I, I like watching him for that reason. I like seeing big men who play the game that have great hands, and man, he comes from a heavy draft, doesn't he, A Train? That
Yes.
draft is full of some heavy hitters.
Yep. And obviously, as we all know, Hall of Fame father, brother in the league, right? Also made the league. So, that the bloodline is strong with that family.
Yeah, Matthew really, you got to see a lot of him when he was in Calgary, as a younger player, the Avs playing the Flames a lot more than I get to see them. And I'm sure you were able to recognize how good he was at a young age.
Yep. Like we saw in the video, man, the guy makes crazy, crazy shots, and I love watching him play.
Southgate, what do you think of our boy Matthew Kachuk, part of the Team USA gold medal boys?
I like everything I seen out of him. I thought A Train was just glazing him on the video, but when I watched the video, that was an amazing shot. I mean, that was probably one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's
Now, my only
slick.
question was that like because he had to do it, or was he just showing off his skills?
I
It's
think it's a
just
little bit of both.
Yeah, me too. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just being in the moment and, kind of making that elite play, not even realizing it, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was crazy.
Yep. Had to share it with the group because it was amazing.
Oh
Actually, A
man.
Train, for the audience, if anyone wants to see it, maybe you should just shout out what game that was so they can YouTube it or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm actually just I make highlights every week, so definitely gonna throw that in my highlight reel this week.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember watching Kachuk highlights with the Flames sometimes when I would see them A Train, and there was a couple times where he pulled off a great goal like that too. And you're just like, man, to me personally, I remember watching his father and to see kind of the same tendencies in his sons. It's great for the game to see it transcend like this. Um, Now, also. the Panthers aren't going to be in the playoffs this year, so we're not going to get to see Matthew do what he does best and just lay bodies out and play at 100%. But for the short time that he's been on the ice this year, barring injury, he has 31 points. So he plays very hard. He skates very well. And as we saw in the Four Nations and Olympics, like A Train pointed out, he plays very well for international teams. And as of right now, who knows what we'll see. The Panthers are beating the Bruins, and our boy Kachuk, he doesn't have a goal or assist, but he's skating hard. He's going to be a part of this game at some point, I'm sure. Uh,
Yeah,
anything
it
else that
is
you want?
now 2-1 Gremlin.
2-1. So
Yeah, they
there it is.
scored with
He's hopefully
30
he's
seconds left. The
getting
Bruins.
involved. Is there anything else you want to touch upon with Matthew Kachuk there, Southgate?
No, I'm very impressed with him. What is his age?
Right now, Matthew Kachuk. Sorry, I don't have it directly in front of me. I
Well,
believe he's
do
around
you know how many years
29.
he's been in the league? I mean,
He's 28, but he's been in the league for like 10 years because they get drafted 18
yeah.
in the NHL.
So
But
he was like great straight from like a young age.
he started really coming into form in that second season. I would say, like, he showed flashes during his rookie year, like most rookies, good rookies do. Like I said, he was drafted in the first round in the top 10. And in hockey, it's not like football where all the first round draft picks are going to be playing.
And what's the
Really.
age difference between him and his brother?
Oh, Brady, I think, is younger. Isn't that right, A
He
Train?
is
By a
younger.
couple years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew's the older brother. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Matthew's, I think, 28, 29, and Brady's younger by a couple years, I think 26, around that age.
Yeah.
I got okay.
So, but anything else you want to touch on before we move on to our next player
No,
there,
go
A
ahead.
Train?
Your
No,
show,
I'm
brother.
good. I was having a little bit of service issues, so my bad.
No problem at all. And ladies and gentlemen, we've been anxious to talk about this guy too. He was also part of the Olympic Games. The young man known as Macklin Celebrini. I'm told it's Calabrini, so I'll go with that for right now until I'm wrong. Macklin Calabrini is the first round pick from the Sharks in the 2024 draft. Of course, number one overall. Um, this this young man, besides what we saw in the Olympics, has joined elite company already in his young career. He's part of 6 players to score over 100 points as a teenager in all-time NHL history. That's amazing. Of course, I'm going to brag. Mario Lemieux was one of them, and then
I actually
Sidney
seen
Crosby
that,
did it
Graham.
twice. But he's part of elite company like that. It took him 72 games to reach 100 points as a teenager. That's very impressive. Right now, he's a +5. And I don't know if anybody noticed last year, he was a -37. So this year, to be a +5 on a Sharks team that has a -37 goal differential, that's really, really impressive. And he has the next highest scoring teammate is 50 points back of him, which just goes to show how good Macklin is, not only on his own, but he's probably elevating a lot of those. And, he has 115. That's the number of games with 10 games remaining. He's on pace for possibly 115 points as a 19-year-old in the
All right,
NHL.
so
Hey, go ahead,
Gremlin, you
Southie.
said he had 100 points, and the next play behind him is 50 points.
Yeah, on his own team,
Uh,
the Sharks,
wow.
and I believe that's Will Smith, or is it? Let me check here. Yes, it is Will Smith, and Will
Oh,
Smith
that's
is
just. I'm
roughly
sorry
50
to
points
interrupt
behind
you.
him.
I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah, Will Smith is roughly 50 points behind him on the pace as of the last games that we saw. But A Train, Macklin Calabrini, what a talent!
Yep, the 19-year-old superstar center has established himself as a generational talent, and I'm going to use that word because that's what he is, as a generational talent. Top 5 scorer in the league at 19 years old. He has an elite hockey IQ, high end finishing ability, and he has a physical edge to him. At a very young age, he has elite shot power and speed. So that's what I like from the man.
Yeah, the things that we see that he's doing at a young age, I we can only compare it to what we've seen, right? A-Train, Nate McKinnon at a young age, Sidney Crosby at a young age, Cale Makar. He's joining this elite company already. I think we all knew it when we saw him get drafted, #1 in that draft overall. You know, he still is obviously at the top of that draft, but Demidov this year was in that draft, who is flourishing now for the Canadians, who is having his rookie year, really.
Wow.
Seneke with the Ducks, he is in that draft as well. But
Wow.
clearly, heads and shoulders above everyone is Macklin Celebrini. And the Sharks' future, we talk about how we like the Canadians' future and how bright it is. I'm actually really excited for the Sharks as well. That young team that they have, especially with that young goalie Askarov, I think going through these struggles now is only going to make him better if they decide to keep him on board. They have such good talent. Will Smith is another guy who I said Southgate. He's 54 points, which Celebrini has 105 as of right now.
Yeah,
So Will
that's
Smith is 51 points behind him, and that's the next highest scorer for the Sharks.
so. I mean, after the show, I'm gonna do the math, but I gotta see how many goals he's really responsible for.
Well, he has 40 goals this year. He is in the tops of the leagues in scoring. Of course, the man everybody's trying to chase is our boy A-Train's Nate McKinnon. He's the man right now with the goal scoring pace, 50 plus. And but right below him, Southgate, which you talked about earlier, is Colton Caulfield, the Montreal Canadiens. And
Yes.
we'll go touch on him shortly after this because I know there's something you want to discuss, and I think it is an interesting topic. But we're going to finish up on Macklin here because I'm really excited for the Sharks team. I'm excited to see Macklin Celebrini hopefully evolve into one of these greats like Nate McKinnon, Connor McDavid. A-Train, anything else you want to talk about with our boy Celebrini? I think our boy A-Train's having a little service issue right now.
Little
But how about
mic
you, Southie?
problem.
Anything else you want to finish up on with our boy Celebrini?
No, I mean the stats you told me that you said you want to talk about were highly impressive. Can you go over that draft class one more time?
Yeah, so in his draft class, I'm going to go through the top 10. That way, maybe it'll give you some kind of context, right? So Macklin Celebrini went #1. The Chicago Blackhawks took Artem I'm going to butcher his name, and I'm sorry about this. Levshinov. Then the Ducks took our boy Beckett Seneke, who we have been watching all year. Part
Yeah,
of that good
he's
Ducks
been playing
core.
great.
Yep. Then, of course, I'm excited for this young player from the Columbus Blue Jackets, Caden Lindstrom. He's still in juniors. He's probably going to come up next year for them. And watch out, everybody. Columbus has some good young talent. Then you have, of course, Ivan Demidov, Southgate, who we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
And that's just the top 5 to round out. But
And then
also
when
in
did
this,
Cale go?
Cale Makar went all the way, but he was in a different draft. This is
Oh, okay.
Cale
I thought you said he was
he's
in the same
this
draft.
is well past Cale Makar's draft.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I just, and the last thing I'll say about Macklin, right? So far he's on pace for probably 115 points. But Southgate in 70 games last year as a rookie, just to let you know, he had 63 points. He was even developing as a youngster. He was well on pace. We saw greatness even at 18.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, A-Train, anything you wanted to talk about with Celebrini before we head into our first break?
No, you hit on the historic sophomore campaign. I'm having some service issues, but you hit on that. Yeah, you hit on the 16-ager in history to record 100 points. You hit on that, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Well, guys, thank you for sticking around. After we get back, Southgate's going to bring up a topic about the goal scoring for the race, specifically with the Rocket Richard, something we saw earlier. It's a good conversation. I think you guys will like it. Hang with us. We're going to be right back.
Number Friday nights, 9 Eastern. It's the Dribble NBA edition on the Not Moved podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Moved podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, Not Moved. Stay not moved.
Tap into the Not Moved podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
and
replays.
A whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind. Ringside
Every Thursday night, the Not Moved podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wickets,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same audition.
The world's game has a new home. Tap into the Not Moved podcast every Sunday night at 9 Eastern. It's the football edition, and I'm bringing you the El Uncle Max attack, everything World Cup, every angle, every goal. Breakdowns, laughs, and all the passion in the pitch. Stay locked, stay ready.
Morning bettors, welcome back to Angling the Odds on the Not Move podcast.
Every Monday and Friday, we tear into lines, probabilities, and hidden edges across the boards.
We run the numbers, chart the trends, and find value plays so you can tilt the odds your way.
Live at 10:30 Eastern. Mark it, lock it, and join the conversation.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. We just want to shout out some of our good shows from our fellow Not Move podcast members. Robert holding it down on Tuesdays, talking about wrestling on Ringside Rewind. He's joined by Ja, Zip Zap. Coach Common was there this past week. So always check out our fellas over there on Ringside. Then we have us always Thursdays for you, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Friday, of course, Jimmy with the MMA show. He has been doing a great job.
Yes.
And so please check Southgate. You were there with him last week, weren't you?
Yes, I was doing it with him last week. Yes.
So Jimmy has been holding it down with the MMA show. So please check Jimmy out, doing a great job at 8 p.m. And then following Jimmy's show at 9, I host the Dribble with our friends Tinez, Bags, Bando, and Joe's is going to be showing up to discuss all the NBA action. And yeah, and plus we got some really exciting things in the works for Not Move Draft Day. BKFC, some stuff coming up possibly for Not Moved with the interviews that JB did. Everybody, please check out the interviews our boy Robert and JB are doing on Millions. They're on YouTube. You can check the clips. They're doing some big things, getting some big names, especially some of these former athletes, pro athletes, specifically in the NFL that Robert's getting a chance to interview. And JB had a huge one with our boy Baldy. Brian Baldinger was able to speak with JB and give plenty of insight on how he breaks down the draft, how he reviews linemen, and it was a really great interview, wasn't it, Southgate?
Yes, it was a great interview, but I just wanted to touch on Jimmy. If you guys are into UFC and you're really interested in it, I mean, Jimmy remembers every fighter, who they fought the last 3 fights, what gym they come from, what their style is. That is not easy in the UFC with all the fighters, Gremlin. You know that. So
yeah,
I give
Jimmy,
him a lot of credit on that.
Yeah, Jimmy, I know nothing about. I know not even a quarter of what Jimmy knows in the fight game, and he can just pick things off the top of his head by mentioning a date and maybe a UFC number. So
yeah, so if anyone's interested in UFC, definitely check out Jimmy's show on Fridays.
Yeah, guys, I especially want to talk about Robert, too, holding it down with Ringside. Besides that, he's doing some great interviews. Not Move, we're all doing some big things. A-Train's going to be possibly in the works with stuff happening out in Denver area, Colorado area. Like I said, we got things in the work. But Southgate, you wanted to bring up something that is an interesting topic that we were discussing earlier today. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually stumbled across it, and because I was, doing some research on wagering, of course, and I was looking at some new types of points and anytime goals, and that came up, that trophy. What is that trophy called?
For the Rocket Richard Trophy, the most goals in a season by a player.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're saying, should empty net goals count? You got some players that have like 50 goals and 8 of them are empty nets. And I noticed Caulfield's 47 goals. not one of Caulfield's goals have been an empty net goal.
No, you're right. And that is an interesting stat, isn't it, A-Train? It's kind of interesting to see that Cole
I
Caulfield,
just
all of
thought
his
that was a
goals
little
are
impressive, and I wanted
with
to get your
everybody
guys'
on
view
ice.
on it.
We can't take away from those empty netters, though.
No, they're part of the game.
Because let's put it this way: if that team has to put themselves in a position to get the empty net, and you're on the ice to take advantage of it, why not?
Yeah, facts.
I
the
mean,
video.
I agree with it. I'm not saying take their goals away. I'm just saying if it comes down to MVP time, and one guy's got 95 goals, and one guy got 96, and one guy has no empty netters, another guy has 12. Would you take that into consideration? I mean, I know the goal number was high. I was just throwing numbers in the air. I'm sorry.
In my opinion, if the team has dropped the goaltender because they're getting beat and they're close and they're just putting the icing on the cake, the player's trying to end it. In my opinion, it should count because they beat the team bad enough that they had to remove their goaltender to force that team into that position.
Yeah.
So that the empty net goal was just the icing on the cake.
Yep, facts. I'm backing Graham on this one.
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna take a couple players' careers apart this week and see how many empty net goals they actually had.
I'm sure you'll find some big names on there. Maybe in the top of the list. Maybe you'll find some big
Just
names.
out of curiosity, that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, do your research. We'll come back and we'll circle back to it on the
Yeah.
on an episode.
Yeah, because that is a good conversation. Because I'm not gonna put down an empty net goal ever. Because in my eyes, a goal's a goal. Just
I
like
agree.
in any other, even if you're smashing a home run off a slow pitch, or it is what it is. But there is something to be said. There's something to look into to see how many players are in the tops for empty net goals. So Southgate, you look into that, and we'll come back to it next week because right now we have the Jack Adams Award candidates for this year. I know one of our friends who is hopefully joining us next week. A-Train, did you want to tell all of our viewers here, one of our buddies who's joining us next week?
Yep, joining the Not Moved podcast is going to be Bro, No Ma'am affiliate. Guy's been just crushing it on social media. He runs his own TikTok channel, his own YouTube channel. Guy's been doing podcasting for longer than I've been in the game, and he's just a great guy, and he's really pumped about his Buffalo Sabres. So special guest Bro will be on the show next week, so really looking forward to that.
Yes, because we're going to have to do a little bit of glazing on his head coach right here, Mr. Lindy Ruff, who was one of the lead candidates. Obviously, I selfishly, I'm going to talk about my candidate for later, as you will selfishly talk about your candidate.
Yep.
But Lindy Ruff has done a fantastic job not being back with the Sabres for very long. Lindy Ruff just came back, last year, the year before last, to help lead this Sabre team after not having been there for years and years. And he won this award once already in his career.
Yep. He has his team on the verge of clinching their first playoff berth in 15 years, Graham. That's huge. If that doesn't scream coach of the year, best coach in the league, that I don't know what does. His ability to, he has a good defensive structure while keeping their young offensive core productive. He's a front runner. I think he's got to be the odds-on favorite. Southgate, if you have time, I'd like to see what the odds are on these guys. That's my top candidate too.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at it right now. I was just giving you guys a quick score update. The Penguins got tied 2-2. Cirelli just scored a second goal. And Canadians are up 2-0. Caulfield just scored his 48th. And, of course, the Hurricanes went up 4-1.
Gotcha.
Oh, and Buffalo up 1-0.
No shocker there as we talk about him.
And of course, the Devils up 3-2 in the first, so that's a shootout over there if anyone's interested. Oh, and Matt Boldy with his 39th.
Baldy.
Oh.
So,
Well, also
okay.
one quick one I do want to touch on, which is very important for both teams. Flyers, Red Wings, 1-1.
1-1, yes.
Yeah, Flyers are on their way up right now. Red Wings seem to be there's something here that we could briefly touch upon afterwards in the standings that we're going to go into on the Red Wings, and the Ides of March seems to be the end of them for the last 4 years. But I A Train, I can't disagree with you. I really like what Lindy Ruff has done with this team. I think he has to be the odds-on favorite. So Southgate, why don't you look into see who the Jack Adams favorites are right now, and we'll go on to the next candidate, John Cooper from Tampa Bay,
Yes,
who
sir.
for the fans who out there who haven't been following the NHL, shockingly, he does not have this award yet. He has been a fantastic coach, but John Cooper right now showing as the second candidate. What do you think about him, A Train?
Obviously, legendary career, never won the award. You totally hit that right on the head. He's taken a retooling Lightning team with significant injuries to be a very competitive team in a brutal Atlantic division. We already know about that Atlantic division, so you got to give this guy his flowers, and he's due, right? That's how I feel about it. I think he's number 2 on my standings too for this award.
Yeah, I would say he's number 2. I think you nailed it right there. The Lightning have constantly kind of been retooling those talented forwards, inserting a good defenseman here while hanging on the back of Vasilevsky in a way. And John Cooper, just to be able to constantly input different pieces and show his ability to be a good coach against all these teams. I agree with you. Great pick. Number 3 is, of course, Jared Bednar from Colorado. I can't say enough good things about his tenure so far, but I'm going to hand it off to you because this is your boy.
Yep. Obviously, I don't want to glaze my guy too much, but, we are the top team in all of hockey right now. You definitely have to take that in consideration when it comes to this award. 108 points right now, leading all of the NHL. Guys won a championship. He has been, very clutch coming into taking over for this team, and he's just done a great job. I actually had your guy at number 3 and my guy at number 4. So I will hand it off to you because I will let you talk about your player or your coach because it's his first year and there's been a ton of injuries on that team and he's doing a great job. So I want to give you your flowers right now.
Yeah, Dan Hughes. I'm really excited for what he's bringing to this franchise right now. When he got hired, initially, people thought that this was the coach before the next coach, right? That term is thrown around sometimes, and I am so impressed with what this man has done with a different team that has been retooled by Cal Dubas. He has been able to take Erik Karlsson, who did not have a good time under Mike Sullivan, and has openly spoken about that, and has turned him around and made him one of the top 10 defensemen in the league. He has taken a Penguins team that was in the bottom of the leagues in power play. They're in the top 3 now. He has taken their penalty kill, which was somewhere in the 20s last year. They are in the top 5 as well. I'm really impressed with Dan Hughes is doing. He's also reinvigorated Mantha this year. Mantha, 30-goal scorer. I'm really excited. I did have him number 3 on my list as well, and I had Bednar, but it's interchangeable in my eyes, depending on what you like. It depends on what conference as well, because Bednar, I wanted to say this about your guy. He took the 12th best penalty kill and rose them to the 3rd best in the league so far, A-Train. So that's really impressive to me as well. So both of these guys have taken their special teams and boosted them. And Dan Hughes, of course, if the Penguins make it to the playoffs, they haven't been there for the last couple of years. He'll be the reason why as well.
Yeah, the real interesting spot is who you have at number 5, because at number 5 I have the Ducks coach. He is doing a great job, and that team has been surprisingly strong. So that's who I have at number 5. Who did you have?
Joel Quenneville. I didn't have him.
No.
I had Rick Bowness from Columbus.
Okay.
Since taking over, they've been a completely different team, and I think he has earned nomination at least to be in the top 5 consideration. I actually have after him Rod Brindamore from Carolina.
Okay. All right. So our lists are pretty similar. Yeah, we just interchanged.
Well, would you guys like the odds now?
Let's hear it,
Yes,
Southgate.
please.
Break it down.
Okay, so coming into the season, you guys are right on point. The Avalanche, Jared
Bednar.
Yes, he was the favorite, followed by Dan Muse from Pittsburgh, followed by Todd McLean, followed by Dean Evanson, and then followed by the Utah coach. Those were the top 5 favorites coming into the season.
Okay.
Right now, it's down to a 2-man race, pretty much, which is Lindy Ruff and John Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see how it is anybody else's war besides those two. I think maybe what might give Lindy Ruff the nod is just because how Buffalo has been for the last better part of a decade. Lindy Ruff last year took them to 36-39, and then this year, look at the stark improvement, 46-21 right now. I don't know, Adrian. What do you think? I could see either one getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says. Duly to the top of the Atlantic. Now, just to sit in third and fourth, just to let you guys know, it's third is Rick Ballas of Winnipeg.
Wow.
And fourth is Joe Quinville of Anaheim.
Okay. So that was my 5.
Yeah.
So the Winnipeg coach probably dropped due to how their season is significantly done.
I mean, like Lindy Ruff is minus 180, John Coop is plus 165, and then it goes to the Winnipeg coach at plus 5,000.
Wow, that's actually shocking. I'm actually shocked by that right now.
Winnipeg is still in the running?
Oh, he's just a third place coach. Granted, I just want to let you guys know, FD didn't, I could say FanDuel on here. FanDuel did not have any lines on this award. I had to find this on Google.
Okay, so that could be
how
skewed.
Completely accurate it is, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, how our coach is not in there. We're gonna have to call FanDuel or something.
More research. I was trying to get something quick for you guys right now.
No, you're good. Do your research, Southgate. We like it.
Okay.
And so far, I besides Lindy Ruff and that John Cooper, I would like to hear the odds on both Bednar and Muse if you get a chance, Southgate, because those have to be enormous.
How are we not 3 and 4? How are we not 3 and 4 at least?
That's what I don't understand. I Winnipeg blows my mind. I don't know if last year has influenced that one due to how good of a team in the regular season. But even still, if it was consistently still that coach right now, I'm shocked. I really am. Nothing against them.
I get the preseason before the season started, but where we're sitting right now, to me, that's just seems a little off to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Winnipeg right now is definitely not making the playoffs.
That's how I'm like, how? Yeah.
They're in the bottom of your division, bottom 3.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay,
interesting
here you go. It says I just typed in Dan Muse. It says he's a top 5 contender, sitting at plus 1,400.
Okay.
So he's 14-1. It says with some reports placing him among front runners of the top 5 favorites to bring a projected weak team into a home ice playoff spot. Top contender has been identified as top 5 favorite. Yeah, so they're making a case for him. So he is in the top 5. Let me check Adrian's coach.
Jared Bednar. It's his name, Southgate.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Dan Muse as well. So we're gonna talk now. There was a shakeup this week, a big shakeup, especially in your conference, Vegas, getting rid of Cassidy. And I know our friend Jake very upset about this. Jake Silva of the Snake Sports Talk Show, who was on here to discuss Pavel Dorofeyev. And now, for me, it's an unfortunate feeling for him. I feel for you, brother. He has John Tortorella as his head coach. Big shakeup, A-Train. What do you think?
Yeah, after firing Bruce Cassidy, so this is what I looked up this up a little bit, and I looked at what the GM said, right? So the GM said that the move is considered. I mean, so what is considered is a high stakes jolt for the team, right? With only 8 games remaining in the season, Graham, it's shocking to me. This is surprising. I feel like to anybody that watches hockey, right? This guy just won a cup in 2023, so for them to move on is crazy. And the GM said that the team has lost spirit and energy and is the reason for this change. Now, spirit and energy, it was sitting at third right now. They're third in the Pacific right now, right? Now I get they went 8-15-4, of recent, but I guess that's why I can't put my hand on it. I just don't understand.
I am not. I feel like this is just the complete wrong time for this move for Vegas.
Yeah, why now? 8 games before the playoffs? I mean, I don't.
It sounds like a desperation lob from McCrimmon for his own job. Just the way it feels, the way it came out of nowhere. We had heard Torts through, writers had been saying that he was involved, talking with Vegas in some sort of way. And Torts will give them a bump, possibly, the way John Tortorella does with teams that he first comes to. He'll give them that bump, the Torts bump, where they're all attitude. You're going to have a lot of grit, and you're going to have a lot of players getting ready to get in your face. That usually lasts about a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it before. We both think this team's probably on the decline with what's going on. We didn't really want to throw that in Jake's face, but to me, it's a shocker all around. On a plus note, I mean, they do get a coach that did coach for the Flyers, and he did win his first game as coach. They won 4-2 in a comeback victory against the Vancouver Canucks. So, I mean, there are pluses, but shocker to me.
And one thing I do want to say is, yes, he is a highly regarded coach, obviously, in the community. Whether he has, we've seen, he has some great sound bites for reporters.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will never take away from him. I love his interviews. He's brutally honest. And you're never going to have to worry about finding out the truth from him.
Yeah.
Having said that, this is a show me now league. This is a what have you done lately for me league. His last Stanley Cup that we always talk about was 03 and 04. And I don't know about you, but I had just graduated high school.
Yeah, that's how long it's been. Yeah.
Yeah. And what he did for the Blue Jackets was good for while he was there. But we've seen Torts go into teams and usually have a 5-year tenure that results into a really bad exit, whether it's from management or Tortorella himself or the players even. And one thing you brought up that I think needs touched upon just slightly is the fact that what did McCrimmon say? They needed energy. It seemed like the morale was down.
Yeah.
Maybe don't trade away so many players and young talent that has been in your roster. Don't give the Capitals a future goaltender that's going to be a legacy goaltender.
I mean, I pray for, teams to fall like this, but I mean, as a hockey fan, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, this is like when Hextall came and GM the Pens. I felt betrayed. And I almost feel the same way for Jake, because we know how Jake feels. We talked with him about it, and Jake is not happy about this coaching hire. He has said it. Please go check out his show, the Snake Sports Show. Our friend Jake Silva. He has been relentless on his opinion on this, rightfully so. I'm interested to see how things go. They have a game tonight, which is later on. It's going to start at the 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Hour against Calgary, which Calgary in a bit of a ruffle as well lately. But we'll see what happens here. I think they'll probably end up winning that game. The game you talked about, A-Train, the first win, didn't seem too convincing to me. 4-2 against the Canucks. I'm not moved against wins against the Canucks right now.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team. They've been eliminated.
But I'm sorry. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you, Southie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had a phone call.
So,
I was looking up. When did the coach get fired?
3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Okay. I was looking something up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'll say this, Tortorella, I believe he's in the top 10 all time. I forget exactly what his rank is. I think it's maybe
I mean,
top
he
6
lost
wins
11
all
out of
time as a
15
coach.
games in March.
Pardon me, Southgate?
He lost 11 out of 15 games in March.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to see what happens here. I do believe Vegas is going to get the bump. They're going to get the Torts bump.
Yeah.
And what I'm worried about, A-Train, and we're going to get to this when we get to the standings, is if Vegas is even going to make the playoffs.
That's
they
bad.
have, yeah. Well, I think they're going to make it, but are they going to be in that 3 or 4 spot with the Kings nipping at their heels? Are they going to keep winning to stay there? Or are they going to let the Kings come back and get above them? I don't think so, but we have seen stranger things happen in the NHL before.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of glad you asked Jake on what he thought his team was going to do. And this was before the head coach firing. So I wonder if his opinion has changed since our last conversation.
Well, here's another one. If you want to talk, in 12 of those 15 games, they let up 4 goals or more.
That's not good.
Wow.
Yeah, they needed some goalie help.
And grab a little ammunition. It started with 2 straight losses to the Penguins, if that makes you any happier.
You had to throw that in there, Southgate?
Yeah, just so in case you want to throw that, Jake.
I don't, with our friends, I try to help them in their time of need. I want to ease that suffering.
Right.
You know what? We'll have to leave that one in the bank for when those Vegas fans start getting a little yappity again.
One and done. I shouldn't. I throw shots at Jake. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, you have bigger heat with Vegas than any of us East Coasters do. So
like I said, me and Jake go back and forth just because,
Yeah, so Jake, don't be too hard on us, buddy. We promise it's all in good fun, and we wish you and your team the best. Specifically, you, buddy. Specifically,
I don't.
Graham does.
I do.
Lightning up 3-2, Graham.
Southgate coming in with the bad news as always. So luckily,
Brandon
we still got plenty of hockey to play. It's only 2:40 left in the second.
Right.
But the Jack Adams, I'm glad we got to talk about that and give both of our coaches a little bit of glaze. And Southgate, I did want to say Rod Brindamore is an incredible coach. Some people seem to think he is on the hot seat this year, given how long his tenure has been in their inability thus far to make the Cup final. I don't think so personally. I think Rod Brindamore's a great coach, and he should be in the running for the Jack Adams. But compared to the top 2, definitely not going to happen this year.
Yeah. A-Train, when I looked up your coach, I really couldn't find much on his odds. It says he's done a great job, but I think everything he's done is pretty much expected out of him.
Yeah, when you are expected to win a Stanley Cup, the
Yeah,
bar set mighty high. Let's just say that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
It's a mile high.
I mean, I guess the only way he would get any type of credit is if your team fell apart. That team would be, his name would come up. But I guess
we've had some
that
games.
good.
We've had some games that have been skits lately, so don't really want to hit too much on that. So moving on.
Yeah, the Avs lost again recently, which don't worry. You guys are feeling your stuff out. You're still 8 points ahead of the Stars.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Well, the
mean,
Stars are
108
up to
points.
nothing right now.
You also have a
108
game in
points.
hand.
You
You have a game in
108
hand on the Stars too. Even if they think about getting close, you got a game in hand. So
108 points, Grim. Driver's seat for the President's Trophy. I can't be mad.
no, and you'll bounce back. There's so much hockey left to play. Yes, 8 games for some teams, 7 for some, but you guys have some nice matchups you'll position yourselves pretty nicely. But below
Graham,
you,
I
the
got to
Stars-
smile. A few of the Flyers are losing 2-1.
Yeah, I know. What a great, nice sidebar there. Always good to see Philly go down. Thanks, Flyers. Thanks for keeping our spirits afloat. But also, I don't want our friend Yukon being too happy about his Red Wings. That's kind of a lose-lose situation. Yeah, we don't want him coming on here when we do Detroit too boasted. We want to make sure
Yeah.
the Red Wings are out.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to have him on if they're eliminated.
Can I ask you a question? Did UConn pick the worst teams in sports to root for on purpose?
I mean, some of the teams have been good before.
Yeah, the Red Wings were once good.
Yeah.
Before he was born, maybe.
No, I mean, he probably got to see the 90s and stuff,
He got to see my Penguins beat them in 7 games in 09.
He's a Jets fan. Come on. And I don't mean Winnipeg.
No, not Winnipeg. The New York one.
Yeah, that green team over there.
Yeah, well, one thing I do want to say, the Flyers are a team people should be worried about right now because they're trying to make their way up that last spot in the Eastern Conference. The Islanders have looked awful, and so have the Blue Jackets since we last talked. Islanders lost to my Penguins, but then again lost before that, and then the Blue Jackets just 4 straight now. It seemed like all that energy has gone up in smoke now, and now they're starting to feel the tight grip of the East. The Flyers, though, they're right on the heels. They did lose recently, but they're still 7-2-1 the last 10, and they're only 2 points behind Columbus.
Yeah, so Graham, there's 3 teams that are tied at 86 points that are on the bubble. The Ottawa Senators, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Philadelphia Flyers are all 3 chasing Columbus for the final spot. So something to keep an eye on, and I'll go into detail on tonight's games and the impact whenever.
Well, can I ask you guys one more question about that empty net thing?
Go ahead. Yeah. You're stuck on
this. If the
this.
team has a 3-goal lead, do you think they should pull the goalie?
Depends on the situation.
Yeah, it's situational.
It depends. It really does. Because what if it's a 3-goal lead, but you have a power play with 2 minutes left in the game?
Right.
That makes sense. That I can understand.
Or even what if it's a 3-goal lead with 4 minutes left and you're on a power play with a 5-on-3? Then you even pull the goaltender and you make your odds even greater.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, usually you pull a goalie with a 1-score game there, Southgate.
Yeah, I've seen them do it a lot with 2 goals too.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of them pull, down by 2, and I've actually seen teams cut it to 1-score games and then give up the empty netter, which I have no problem with that.
Someone you want to talk about too, who has had a lot of empty net goals the last 2 seasons, last 4 specifically, is Alexander Ovechkin. He has had a lot of empty net goals. He is in the top 5 this year, actually tied for that second position with a bunch of scores. And that's not seeing that. I don't take that away from Ovi's 1,000 goals and holding the goal scoring mark. He earned that empty net goal. He went out there. He was there for that. Sometimes I do think to kind of put an end to this for tonight, because I do want to hear what you have to say for next week, Southgate, when we have our other guest on, to kind of put an end to that. Imagine taking those empty net goals from Wayne Gretzky even as well beforehand.
Let's deduct them and see what happens, huh?
Yeah, Mike Bossy. I would like to see those numbers. So that's something you can work on for next week to bring up, and then we can have that discussion, because then maybe that changes our whole outlook of the goal scoring list in general.
Yeah, I don't think Southgate's going away from this one.
No, it's actually, I think I'm gonna, because I just read a stat that in 2024, how many career goals does Gretzky have?
Off the top of my head, he has. Jeez, no, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head either.
I think it was just over. It was 890. Yeah, 894 for regular season goals.
This, in 2024, Ovechkin doubled him.
Wow.
So. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Well, also consider this, Southgate. Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals is over 1,000 as well, including playoffs.
Wayne Gretzky throughout his career has only had 56 empty net goals.
Wow.
So
there you go.
Pretty impressive.
That is impressive. That's really impressive to find out.
So like, that's for as much ice time as he had and as many goals as he scored, that's not a big portion.
Sounds like it's going to be stuck on this for a while. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Yep. He is.
I'm going to pull it apart every way until I drive myself mad.
This is what he does, Graham. This is what he does.
Yeah.
He finds a video like that, and then he deep dives in it, and it takes over his life.
Yeah.
And that's what we need you for, so we could have at least we have one topic planned out for next week that we know you're going to go in depth on.
This better not go into the playoffs. That's all I got to say. We got 8 weeks. All right, less than 8 weeks.
With less than 8 weeks,
somebody who's like an all-time playoff goal scorer, and I'm going to find out half his goals were empty net.
Yeah, and speaking of which, my Pens are down now 4-2 in the second. My Pens are starting to hiccup a little bit as we're talking about them, probably because our friend Robert is rooting for them.
Oh, God, the kiss of death.
Yeah, I know. When Robert says he's saying it all morning to me, I'm rooting for the Pens tonight. I knew it was going to be a bad night. So there you go. Robert with the hex. He did it again. The jinx known as Robert. I hope your hex carries over to your Philadelphia Flyers, who are down 2-1 in the second. Now, the Canadians are up 2-0 on the Rangers. The Canadians are in a great spot right now. I'm still so impressed that they're so young. And this is the first year that we're seeing their rise, their ascendance, and they're going to be one of the top teams. Also, another team over 100 points, possibly.
Yeah, third in the Atlantic. Looking good.
Well, I found a new way to wager hockey. If anyone's interested, will you want me to save it till next week?
No, go on.
Okay. I was watching a video. Remember those teams I texted you?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the top 5 teams to score on the power play with their first line.
Oh, there you go.
So what you do is you find the top 10 worst teams against, that give up the most penalty minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you take the top 5 teams that score on the power play.
Yeah.
And you bet 2 of their guys whenever they're playing each other for 1 point scored each on the main line.
This guy just made a whole spreadsheet. This is insane.
Yep. And
yep.
It hits 86% of the time.
My guy doing his homework.
If you see this channel and this stream all of a sudden get blacked out, you know why, because he hit something good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if he stops showing up, that means he hit the lotto.
Yeah, something good happened apparently, or maybe someone didn't want that information to go out.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you get a guy like Pasternak to score a point, or like a Sidney Crosby or an Ovechkin, he's normally going to be minus 400 in a night.
Right.
But if you could find a guy like a Mark Stone or a JT Miller, they'll be minus like 180, 150. So if you could hit 2 of those guys a night, it'll average out. And you're not going to make a killing every night, but you could make a little living off it.
There you go. A little living.
Yeah, that's all we're asking for, just a little living.
Yep.
We do.
Listen, an
Sabres.
extra 150 a night, it's an extra 150 a night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Next game is Sabres Senators. It's tied at 1 at the end of the second. Sabres and Senators. Senators fighting for that spot, A-Train.
All right, let me break this down, right? Buffalo Sabres clinch with a win over Ottawa, okay? The Carolina Hurricanes clinch with a win over Columbus, right? The Tampa Bay Lightning clinch with a regulation win over Pittsburgh and help from Detroit and Columbus. They need them both to lose. And the Minnesota Wild clinch with at least 1 point against Vancouver. So those are the 4 teams with clinching scenarios tonight.
Well, yeah, right. A-Train, who just scored again?
You tell me, because I'm doing the podcast.
Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. That's my guy.
There you go, getting that NMP rub.
Yep. Since we did his player profile, he's been crushing it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to tell you probably 5 to 6 games after he scored that game-winning goal, he probably partied straight, and it didn't do nothing. And ever since then, he has been completely locked in.
Completely locked in.
Unbelievable.
Yep. He deserves it.
Yes.
He does. And the Hurricanes are up on the Blue Jackets right now, starting the third 4-1. So I think the Hurricanes are comfortably going to win that game. And the Red Wings, of course, up 2-1, end of the second on the Flyers. And Boston down by 1 to the Panthers. Boston's holding on to that bottom spot. They're ahead of the Senators in that division's bottom spot. Well in hand. I mean, Senators are off by about.
Boston was playing very well for a while. I feel like they slowed down a little bit. Am I right in that?
Well, no, they've won their last 4. They have been doing well since we last spoke on the podcast. They have kicked it up. Swayman has improved a little bit more as well. Boston might be a sneaky team, I think, is for the Sabres, if that's the first round team that they have. Boston still has experience. The goaltending may not be very experienced in the playoffs, but Boston has a lot of experienced guys still there. And I think that could be a good challenge for the Sabres. It might be a little bit more than they expect. And if the things shake out right now with that division, the Lightning are going to play the Canadiens in the first round. So Martin St. Louis is going to coach against his former team that he won a Stanley Cup with.
Wow.
I want to see that series. That is a series I want to see.
Let's go. Yeah.
Now, A-Train, I have one question for you. I know your team is great. But after last night, this is the second game in a month I've seen like 8-6, 9-8-7. Like,
you want another problem?
Yeah, is it your goaltending? Is it your defense?
Boom! You hit it right on the head with your first answer.
So your goaltending is very suspect.
That is our biggest. That is our kryptonite right now. That is our Achilles heel right now. That is what is preventing us just winning every night. I'm watching
this team very. Who are your goaltenders?
Wedgwood and Blackwood. So
and which wood do you prefer?
Neither of them, because they're so brittle. That's some brittle wood right there.
They're both good goalies. Wedgwood, yeah.
Oh man,
yeah. No disrespect, only teasing on this show. We got nothing but mad respect for all our hockey friends, professional and otherwise. Just teasing about the brittle woods.
Oh my gosh, Southgate. You leave it up to Southgate, right?
You know what? They're moving like wood, like driftwood.
You know what, Southgate? I don't need your opinion on my team, all right?
From now on, we're going to call them the Colorado Driftwoods.
Okay, the one weak spot that has happened recently, right? It was 6-8, all right? Don't act like it was, 10 goals let up. Relax, all right?
Yeah, but it was to Vancouver. I mean,
we had 2 games that this has happened, all right? Relax.
Does anybody even know a Vancouver fan?
Yeah, I do. He's very depressed right now.
You got to give him something. Come on now.
I mean, Western Canada, it gets dark out there in the wintertime. They're just coming out from that 18-hour days of darkness, Southgate. So
that's tough, man.
That they got to get the wins where they can, and if it's against an Avalanche #1 team in the whole of the NHL, I think they'll take it. Here and there,
right.
Only here and there,
though. Bad vampire movie about that.
Yeah.
And then,
don't worry about my team, Southgate. All right, worry about your own team. All right, first off, all right.
Well, don't worry. We're going to get Robert to root for the Avalanche here soon. So
you can't troll me. We're in first place. You can't troll me, Southgate. Okay.
No. My friend's a very big hockey guy. He goes, "Who you rooting for?" I said, "The Hurricanes." He said, "Great team, but they're chokers."
Yeah, you are a choker.
He said they choke every year.
The other games that we have tonight that haven't started, which Blackhawks Oilers is going to start here soon. But then, like I said, Flames Golden Knights, we'll see Torts' next game, see what he can do with those boys. Kraken Mammoth, both teams are looking for a win here, so that should be a really good game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot more exciting than what Southgate thinks because, anytime Southgate brings up the Kraken, I hear a big yawn come afterwards.
Oh, my God.
And then we have the Maple Leafs and Sharks. two non-playoff teams, but hey, good luck to Calabrini. I want to see him keep scoring in the final game as the Predators and Kings. Kings are going to be the ones playing it out. But if the playoffs started today, like we covered in the Atlantic, Sabres against the Bruins, Lightning against the Canadians, in the Metro, Hurricanes against the Blue Jackets, Islanders against the Penguins. I think I love my Pens. Don't get me wrong, folks. I love the job Dan Muse has done, but I see the Hurricanes coming out of the Metro. I'm not going to change from that until I see some great games from the Pens coming down the stretch.
Yep.
It's going to be the Hurricanes coming out of the Metro, in my opinion. Central, though, A-Train, your team is going to be facing the Mammoth.
Yep.
And that, most likely still coming down the stretch, even with the Predators trying to get close on their tail. The Mammoth, I think, are going to handle this. We'll see after tonight. But I think you guys, if you play the Mammoth in the first round, your playoff experience is going to be too much for them. That could be a nice sweep or the gentleman kind.
Yeah, and let
then
the Stars and Wild beat each other up. Yep, let them beat each other up. Go to 7 games. That'd be nice.
Yeah, no wonder Billy Guerin is so upset with the playoff format this year, because first 2 rounds for his team, no matter what, if you get through the first round, the second round just has another nightmare team to face. He's no wonder he wants to see it back 1 through 8.
And then Pacifics, we got Ducks, Kings, and then Oilers, Golden Knights, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming Calgary has a lot of injuries right now.
Calgary's not good right now.
Yeah, Calgary's just not good.
Well, because I see, like, right now, their top goal scorer is Blake Coleman.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coronado has leveled off this year a little bit. He's taken a step back because of that team just not developing. They look at the pieces they traded away too, Southie. They got rid of Rasmus Anderson. They got rid of Weegar to the Mammoth. They're in a whole flux right now. They're looking to change again.
Yeah, they do not look good.
No,
I'm looking at the anytime goal scorers, and it's so sad because there's like 8 Vegas Knights listed before you get to 1 Calgary player.
Yep.
Now, if out of that Pacific Division, I think if the Ducks face the Kings, I think that'll be a lot closer than people think, that series. The Kings still have some veteran talent. Like Kopitar, this is last year. You know he's going to be playing hard to hopefully make a cup final. Drew Doughty's still there. Byfield is talented. Who knows if he'll make that step and Panarin, of course, now there. He is a playoff producer. So that'll be an interesting series. The Oilers Golden Knights one also intrigues me if that stays the same, because if Draisaitl comes back, I think this series is over. It's handled.
Facts.
Without Draisaitl, though, I'm not sure I like the Oilers' odds this time of year. If Torts gets those boys fired up the way we have seen when he first comes to a team, might not be good for Connor McDavid and the rest of the Oilers.
Facts. Yep.
But Southie, is there anything else you want to say before we go ahead and leave it for this week?
No, you know what? No, I think I'm okay.
Hey, Train, how about you, brother?
Tune in next week, next Thursday, same time, same channel. We got Bro. We got the Buffalo Sabres talking about their amazing season. This is a not miss episode on the Not Moved podcast.
Yeah, always. And thank you all for joining us again. We are going to be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our boy Bro. We're going to be glazing the Sabres. So Sabres fans, get your gear on, get your big foam #1 fingers out. We're going to give you all your flowers and your props. We're going to give you some nice franchise history props. We're going to do it all, especially for our friend Bro who's coming on. We might have one more special guest for another NMP player. We're going to have some big things coming this next episode and for us in the Wickets in general, guys. So stick around, stay on the ice with us. Robert, if you keep rooting for my Penguins team, I'm just going to have to start being mean about Philly, and I don't want to do that to you.
And one more thing, Southgate is going to dive into this William McKinley jinx that Buffalo has on it.
Yep. Everybody wake up and tune into the Not Move podcast.
Let's go, Pen. See you, boys.
Good night.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Moved Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.